YouTube, what's going on? Welcome to the channel, Felon with Firearms. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. Hit that like button, smash that comment button, leave me something nice, man. Tell me you love me or something. And also turn on the notifications so that you don't miss any other drops. I have a lot of you guys asking me, to do certain videos and put out certain information for videos that I already have up in the platform. So if you haven't, turn on that notification, go ahead, subscribe, and go through the content, man, and see if you can find exactly what it is that you're looking for, because 9 times out of 10, we've already done it. Or join that membership, and if I haven't done it, we can get it done. So today we're here for Washington State. Washington State, y'all got this sauce, y'all got the drip. We already know what to do for y'all, but let's share it. So here we are. Washington State. Persons convicted of any serious offense defined in 9.41.010 quotation parentheses 16 to include violent, drug, and sex offenses or any other felony or misdemeanor crime of domestic violence may not possess a firearm or obtain a license to carry a concealed pistol. A person has been convicted, whether in an adult court or adjudicated in a juvenile court, at such time as a plea of guilt has been accepted or a verdict of guilty has been filed, even if charges are later dismissed after a period of probation, suspension, or deferral of sentence in Washington or other states. So let's pay attention to this section right here. Relief from firearm restrictions is available. You get that? Relief from firearm restrictions is available from the executive or through the courts. Under Washington Rev Code 9.41.040 parentheses 3, firearms restrictions may be removed through pardon, annulment, certificate of rehabilitation, or other equivalent procedures based on a finding of rehabilitation. Again, firearm restrictions may be removed through pardon, annulment, certificate of rehabilitation, or other equivalent procedures based on a finding of rehabilitation. I put emphasis on all my videos, man. Whatever you've done or have done since your release of incarceration, even while incarcerated, proven rehabilitation starts while incarcerated. If you program substance abuse, anger management, if you did work release, those are things that are showing society that you are trying to reprogram and rehabilitate yourself. So those certificates that you may have had while incarcerated, if you still got them, we can use those. So proven rehabilitation is what they base their discretion off of. We'll go down a little further. Washington courts are authorized. Washington courts are authorized to restore firearm rights to individuals convicted of a crime prohibiting gun possession other than Class A felony and sex offenses under Washington Penal Code. So, other than sex offenses and Class A felonies, Washington courts are authorized to restore firearm rights to individuals. People with felony offenses must wait 5 years without conviction or pending charges. Misdemeanors must wait 3 years. No additional showing is necessary. If the individual meet the requirements, the court has only a ministerial function in granting the petition. If a person is convicted of a crime for which 9.41.040 prescribes no procedure for the restoration of firearm rights, the only available remedy is pardon by the governor with a finding of either of innocence or of rehabilitation. Let's read that over. If a person is convicted of a crime for which 9.41.040 prescribes no procedure for restoration of firearm rights, the only available remedy is a pardon by the governor. So you can either petition the courts, but if your charge is too severe for the courts to, go ahead and honor it, the only way you can get your remedy is by a pardon by the governor. And y'all need to go look up these penal codes and see what crimes qualify and what crimes don't qualify, because it's very, very important to know what category you fall under. Don't just go shooting a petition out there if you don't even know what category you fall under. And that's the reason why I include penal codes with everything, with every video, so that you won't just be going off of this information that I'm gathering for you. I'm trying to be as exact as possible, but I also still need you to do your due diligence. You need to do your research, because I'm not in your state. This is just guidelines, and they have been proven very successful. Anywho, so let's go down to pardon policy and practices. The pardon power, the authority, first and foremost. Authority. The pardon power is vested in the governor, under such regulations and restrictions as may be prescribed by law. The governor is required by law to report to the legislature of every session on each case of reprieve, commutation, or pardon granted. Commutation or pardon granted, and the reason for granting the same. He is also required to submit all applications for pardon to the State Clemency and Pardon Board, which must hold a hearing. However, the governor is not required to confirm his action to what the board recommends. So the board can say no. The governor don't have to go by that. Or the board can say yes, and the governor can say no. So the governor may also grant restoration of rights without a pardon when a sentence has expired or is about to expire, which has the effect of discharging unpaid portions of fine, or grant a pardon without restoring rights. Interesting. So we know that the power is vested in the governor and in the states, in the court. So let's get to eligibility. Okay. No formal eligibility waiting period, but applicants generally required to wait 10 years. People with federal and out-of-state offenses are ineligible to apply for a pardon, but may apply to the board for restoration of rights. So, if you have a federal offense, you have to go through the presidential pardon. The governor will not do this for you, or out-of-state offenses. If you got an out-of-state offense, you got to satisfy your charge out of state and then ask for Washington state to honor your restoration of rights in the other state. But you got to show proof with them documents. So let's get over to the actual pardon application. And I'm going to include these links for you guys so you'll know where to go to. So download and complete. Let's start from the top. There are two forms of petitions. The first is a petition of reprieve, commutation, or pardon. The second is a petition for the restoration of rights to engage in political office. Important policy change. Petitions submitted after June 12, 2015 will be screened to address the following approved policy changes. In most cases, absent unique or emergency circumstances, the board will not consider a petition until at least 10 years have passed from the date of conviction. If unique or emergency circumstances exist and less than 10 years have elapsed since the date of conviction, please request review of your circumstances for exception to policy and provide documentation demonstrating such circumstances. So again, that's why you got to keep up with anything that proves you have been rehabilitated. Also, I'm going to mention here before we get into that pardon application, you can submit your request via email, Here's the email, or you can do standard mail, and here's the address. But let's get over to the application. State of Washington. Under the authority granted to the governor pursuant to the Washington State Constitution, Article 3, Section 9, and RCW 10.01.120, the undersigned hereby makes application for a pardon or commutation of sentence or reprieve and respectfully represents the facts as following. So the information that you're going to need to provide is your general information, your first name, last name, your middle name, your residency, your address, state, city, zip code, telephone number, email address, your date of birth, place of birth, citizenship, social security number, and your prison number, your DOT number, your state incarceration number, your driver's license number, and then you're going to have to specify the action you're requesting of the governor. For the most people who are reviewing this information, that we are going to request for here a pardon, complete relief from sentence and or disabilities related to a conviction. So civil rights, gun rights are disabilities related to your conviction. So this is why you are going to select pardon. We're not doing anything other than pardon for those who are trying to restore their gun rights. So, date of the application, have you previously applied for a pardon? If less than 3 years have passed, are there new circumstances that you believe justify your petition? Sorry about that. The board reviews and hears petitions for pardon or commutation only in cases in which judicial remedies for the conviction have been concluded to the final decision. Have all direct appeals been exhausted, or has the time within which the appeal expired? If you are incarcerated, we're not worried about that part, but you can read it in your own time. If you are represented by an attorney or other parties pertaining to this petition, please indicate to whom all communications related to this petition shall be addressed. That's nobody but you. Are you a U.S. citizen? Yes, I am. If you are. Have you exhausted all other applicable remedies available to you under the law, including a motion to vacate, a motion to expunge, a motion to seal record? Then we're down to the convictions. So for each conviction for which you are seeking a pardon, whatever disqualifying charges would be the charges that you present here. Your felony offenses, as well as domestic violence misdemeanors, or the misdemeanors and charges that are included in that first penal code in the front that I went over more than once. That's why, again, it's important that you look up your codes, your charges, and see what it fall under. So, crime or offense, date of crime, date of conviction, state of conviction, case number, sentence imposed, was there a protective order as a result, restitution imposed, how much have you paid, were you represented by an attorney, was a weapon used in preparation of a crime, if yes, what kind? If the offense was committed against a person, please answer the following. Who was the victim? What was your relationship to the victim? Was the victim injured? Age of the victim? More than one victim? Was restitution order? Has it been paid? It's pretty straightforward laid out there. Please provide the following information. Are you currently serving a sentence? If yes, what's your release date? On parole or probation? If so, what are your discharge dates? And please have, if discharged, please have that final disposition paperwork. Don't lose it. Keep up with all documents. They are indispensable. Prior convictions. Have you been arrested, charged, or convicted of any offense at any other time? The board expects that all offenses, including gross, misdemeanors, and misdemeanor offenses will be included in answering to this question. So these aren't your disqualifying charges, but they want to know what else is in your criminal background. So this is where you're going to include what else may be in your background. So a copy of the judgment and sentence for each offense for which you desire relief is required before the board will review your petition. Please attach a copy to this petition. And this is where you need to have those documents. Petitioner's statement. Use additional paper if needed to complete your response. For each conviction, fully explain the facts of the crime for which relief is being sought. Please describe the extraordinary circumstances that you think would justify granting your petition for clemency. You know, my advice, I'm not saying this is the way you should do things, but don't make no excuses. Don't point no blame. You know, take accountability for what happened. Take responsibility for the part that you played in it and express, you know, your understanding that it was unethical, it was completely wrong. And please make sure you put emphasis on how you have rehabilitated yourself in these sections, because one thing they want to see is accountability. The second thing they want to see is rehabilitation. See, please describe your rehabilitation efforts after your conviction. They want to see rehabilitation. Describe your prison record. Hopefully you stayed out of trouble. Are you currently or have you at any time in the past been subject of a do not contact order, restraining order, protective order? Please attach a copy of the order. The petition and material submitted with the petition and material submitted with it will become a matter of public record once received by the Clemency and Pardon Board. Falsification of any portion of this application can be a reason of denial. Authorize a release of information. And again, this is the physical mailing address for those who want to do it the physical way, or if you want to submit by email, here is that link. So, Washington State, I hope this information helped you. I hope this information point you in the right direction. And I really hope that you guys share this information to someone in need, or share this channel, this platform to people you may know who may need this, so that we can become fully restored citizens, no longer considered second-class citizens, and so that we can, you know, protect and provide for ours. Until next time, Big Felon checking out. Again, please smash that subscribe, man. Please show me some love. And I'm moving on to the next state. Appreciate y'all.